Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Human Garage. This is a new segment called Astro Mechanics, and this is me taking part now in the Human Garage experience. I'm so proud to actually be here and be a part of this family known as Human Garage. We are kind of spinning off a little bit. I don't know if you know, Gary and myself, we always have a video every Monday where we kind of talk, wizard talk, and we discuss what's going on in the big picture of things. And what we decided to do now is spin it off a little bit. Gary and I will still be talking on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. But I'm going to now come on Thursdays at the same time slot, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and do what we call Astro Mechanics. And then, of course, I want to say, I don't know if Gary will let me say this, I am the first astro mechanic at Human Garage. So it's a term we came up with. I think it's perfect, actually, because we're going to have this show on Thursdays where we bring you on and we, put you up on the risers, take a look at what's going on, the astromechanics of your spiritual vehicle, and help you tune that vehicle in the Human Garage. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to invite everyone to come on. Now, you probably know if you've been watching on Mondays, Gary and I get so down the rabbit hole as far as what we're talking about, which is great. I mean, I need it as a wizard. I need it just to talk to another person who is doing magic on the planet. But we don't really get to actually putting people on camera very much because we're just going down these amazing rabbit holes. So this is your opportunity for me to take a look at your mechanics going on in your spiritual life and help you to tune your frequency to where you can yourself manifest greater and greater. In fact, I'm going to pull myself up here a little bit tighter. Now, we are happy to have people here on camera. I am taking requests. Okay, great. Thank you. So, hi, everyone. Say hi in the chat. I think we even have Gary Lyman in the chat right now. He's watching. Nice to see everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello. Say, put in the chat your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign, if you like, the top three, your sun, rising, and moon. If you know the step number, you get extra credit. That's the degree of those three. And the way I'm going to actually do this every week is I'm going to open up with just a little summary of what we're about to go through on the weekend. So when Gary and I talk on Mondays, we talk about the week's goals, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of kick it out, kick that can down the road to the weekends and give a little synopsis of where we are spiritually, energetically, and then I'm going to then bring people on camera and we'll talk about where you are in that place. So I hope to have some guests on. Let's dive in. So, great. We got a 27 Scorpio sun here. God help us. Just kidding, my happy. I think as far as requests are concerned, yes, make a request to be on the show and I will pull you up in just a couple of minutes. It looks like I can scroll through these in history and I can pull you up retro. So we will do that here, but let's kick off just a little bit with where the energy is, and then we'll bring someone on camera. And of course, really to be of service, when you do come on camera, you must give me your sun degree, your moon degree and sign, and your rising degree and sign. So we'll kind of go from there. So let's quickly talk about what is happening right now consciously. This is an incredibly important moment for the human race, believe it or not. I know it doesn't seem like that. It seems like the world is crumbling, and the world is crumbling. That's because human beings are rising up. So as human beings rise up in their vibration, their frequency, the structures that were built on greed and built on fear and built on control, these structures get really wobbly when we, the people, start to rise up in our own ability and recognizing our power of creation, recognizing that we have the potential to manifest our own intentions into reality, and we do. And the important piece of Human Garage is you are only as good as your body as far as your ability to manifest. And I haven't talked to Gary about this in detail, but I'll just put out there right now. We can talk about it later. The more finely tuned your frequency is in your body is the battery that's putting out all the energetic pulses into the world. Your body is also the hard drive, as Gary talks about, where it stores all of your trauma and all the things that you have had in your past in your fascia. But so it's very important to be in synergy with your body, mind, body, spirit. This is really important because the more you are in a oneness with yourself, the more powerful you attract to you. And one of the things that I teach in my program, I'm the sensei to serious joy, by the way. My name is Christopher Weticki. I should have introduced myself. I'm Christopher Weticki, the sensei to serious joy. But here I am, your astromechanic. I teach something called the step system, which is something I downloaded from my higher self and angels out there about how energy manifests. And what I learned very early on in my career is that most people are mismanifesting their intentions because they are fractioned in the inside of themselves. They're fractioned in the sense that their mind is thinking one thing, their feelings are thinking and are feeling another, their heart wants a third thing, belief structure is pointing towards what they've been told to believe, and their body is out of whack. So when you are fractioned like that, where your mind, your heart, your emotions, and your body are on all different pages, you're going to manifest that kind of chaos. You're going to get exactly what you are, this fraction chaotic vibration. You're going to attract love that's chaotic. You're going to attract jobs that are chaotic. You're going to attract everything in your life that's very chaotic if you have not united your light within yourself. So my program, Gary's program, other light workers that I really respect program is all really around the similar thing, which is it's time to unite our light. It's time to unite our frequency. It's time to bring your intentions and all of your states of awareness into alignment. It's time to heal your body, and you have the power to heal your body, which is the great message of Human Garage, and unite all these energies into a super you that will attract some super things in life. So going to where we are right now, it's a very important moment. Today we're at step 3 of Pisces. Pisces energy is our subconscious energy, which is also our spiritual energy. And so when we go into the Pisces vibration every year, we are in fact dipping into our subconscious. Your subconscious is an interesting state of awareness in the human experience. It's two things. One, it's the deep storage of everything on earth. So although you may not pay attention to things going down the road, although you may not pay attention to what your coworker says, your brain is recording everything real time and is putting it into our subconscious, which is just below the seams. I always look at like consciousness. We really are like an alligator. Our eyes are above consciousness, but most of our awareness is below conscious or below our immediate awareness, which is subconscious. And it's my belief that beyond the subconscious is our oversoul, or our higher self, or our connection to heaven. So you have your waking mind, you have your subconscious, and then you have spirit. Or you can look at it the other way, that waking is at the very bottom, subconscious is above that, and heaven is above that. I mean, it doesn't really matter which way you look at it. There's no direction in consciousness, really. It's all a human idea. But the point is, every time we get here to Pisces, every year, the sun illuminates what's underneath these seams. And so a lot of us are driven by our subconscious traumas. We're driven by our subconscious pain. We're driven by things that we have tried to forget and swallow. And we go through life and we experience different people and different things, and things will tick us off. Things will make us cry. Things will upset us. We'll get overly upset about the situation. And we wonder, why am I so upset? Well, because that above conscious situation is tying to a subconscious weed that you have going on in your soul. And so you get these weeds rattled and you overreact. So what we do in Pisces is we weed our soul garden. We basically become aware of these subconscious triggers and we pull them out, we face them, we heal them, we come to a resolution with them. Now that's every year in the year of Pisces. But this year in Pisces is a very special year. Today is a very special day. I love that we launched on a step 3 day for this astromechanics, because in the next 24 hours, I believe you will come to a major revelation about something inside yourself with your relationship to yourself. So a way you've related to yourself, some big weed in your soul garden is going to come up and you're going to realize that you've been tripping over yourself somewhere in your relationship to yourself. Maybe not giving yourself enough credit. Maybe always assuming the worst will happen. Maybe you've always, devalued yourself. Maybe you've had false humility where you made fun of yourself to keep yourself from getting too big because you were subconsciously afraid that if you got too much attention, that would lead to some sort of disaster. I mean, I've seen all the stories, and we'll talk about those stories today too with the people we bring on camera, asking them what their subconscious triggers are. But because Saturn, which has a 30-year cycle around the sun, Saturn has come to Pisces for the first time since 1994. This year, when the sun goes through Pisces, we are healing. We are healing something very major in ourselves once and for all. And this could be, I don't care if you're 95, if you're 75, if you're 55, if you're 25. This issue goes back to your birth. So if you were older, it took this long for you to realize. If you're young, you're very lucky that you're getting to get this pulled out and helped and extracted out of your consciousness. So in this next 24 hours, what ends up happening is that you are going to come to realize that you have been the person in the way of your potential, that you have been tripping over yourself. And yes, maybe you had a bad childhood. We all do. Maybe you have bad past lives. We all do. And so that puts you into this posture to be defensive, or the posture to question yourself, or the posture to have low self-esteem. But we realize, oh, that's not happening anymore. My parents aren't ridiculing me anymore. I'm not starving between paychecks anymore. I'm not in that struggle. So why am I still in this posture of being defensive or being worrisome or, or putting myself down if the threat is gone? So that is what spiritual karmic healing is, that you realize I am still repeating this response that I had to an initial trauma in my behavior, in my thoughts, in my feelings. I keep repeating these things when they don't even exist anymore. In fact, one could argue that me repeating it is actually causing it to continue. And I'll give you a little bit of a foreshadow here. We are here in 2024. We're going to pull our karma once and for all in Pisces. We're going to rebirth our character in Aries. So we have a solar eclipse on April 8th going through central Texas and across the United States. It will be absolutely dark, like it's dark at night. This is the last full eclipse in the United States for 24 years. So you could say this is the last time God is going to make a major investment in the United States in 24 years. Because an eclipse, wherever eclipse is seen, that's where the population is most affected. So in essence, we're going to pull our weeds this month in Pisces. We're going to be reborn in the eclipse in Aries. We're going to manifest incredibly potently in May. And then come June, it looks like we're in a different reality. We're in a different world. So I argue that you have never changed as much as you're about to between now and June. And we'll be here every Thursday to talk about it. And we'll be here to talk about your astromechanics. So without further ado, why don't we get into the thick of this? That's the outline of what's going on. It's 13 after here. I am streaming live from Colorado, by the way. I'm just going to scroll through here and try to invite somebody on. This might be a little clumsy because sometimes people's cameras aren't on, or they're private, or there's other things. So we'll sort of figure this out here. Let's see, I just had a request come on. So I guess the requests actually go away. So maybe I'll request someone. Go ahead and make a request if you'd like to be on right now. And I will bring someone on board. Let's see here. Or I'll request. Here we go. Dunk. There we go. There's a lot of people here wanting to request. Okay, there's a lot of requests. Let's go to, I'm going to try. From what I understand. Basically, Instagram has to go to someplace somewhere else to try to pull someone up. Here we go. Hi, how's it going? You've just won. Come on down. You're in the Showcase Showdown.
The winner chicken dinner.
Hi,
I love
Stacy, right?
it. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's lovely to connect.
Lovely to connect. Where are you coming in from? Calling in from today?
I'm currently coming in from Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. I hear a lot of people moving there. A lot of light moving to Tennessee. What part of Tennessee?
Kind of between Memphis and Nashville, but completely country.
Oh, I guess so. Okay.
And I was an LA baby. Gary and I lived probably about a mile or two from Gary for years.
Me too. So yeah, everyone migrated from California to Texas, Tennessee, and I think South Dakota is the other one. I can't remember. What's your sun sign? What's your sun sign and degree?
Okay, so I do my chart a little different. I'm learning.
Okay.
But my best friend's an astrologer, so she gets different numbers than I got, but this is what Astro just told me.
Okay.
First of all, I've been crying on and off all day, so I've been processing.
Yeah.
And so when you were talking earlier, I feel like I'm so ready for that. Like I feel like I'm stuck in Capricorn.
Yeah.
We've been getting our butt kicked, and it's just like I just want to show up and help. So anyways, I feel appreciative and gratitude. And Gary sent me this live, so thank you, Gary.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all worked out perfectly.
Yes.
I feel you, girl. I feel you.
Always does. It always does.
It always does. It's amazing.
Yes. So Capricorn sun.
Oh, Capricorn sun. What degree do you know?
It says 1, but I thought it was 0.
Oh, 1 degree. So you're you're born like before Christmas, like
Yeah.
December 20th? Okay.
Uh,
All right. That'll be a 1 degree. Yeah.
my moon is Gemini, 8 degrees.
8 Gemini. Okay. 8 is a Capricorn degree. So your moon is under hostage of your sun.
Okay.
And your rising,
My rising is Scorpio,
what degree?
10.
Oh, okay. That's great. Scorpio rising. Okay. And tell me what's going on with you or how I can be of service.
Well, I'm obviously open to spirit and guidance in all the ways. I just feel still kind of I feel completing a lot of family trauma slash blocks.
Hmm.
And so I feel super like moving through, but then somehow when I come back with my family, I get those kind of reminders. But I feel like my family is a good reminder for me to keep my mental attitude and all those things more positive, but they just bring out in me. So I know I still have stuff going on.
Okay. So, first of all, being a 1 degree Capricorn, one is I love, I self-love. So you've come here to love yourself
Yeah.
first and put yourself first. So probably part of that struggle with family is you were born wishing they would when your job was for you to.
Yes. And I'm a recovering codependent. I had a lot of trauma. So I was sexually traumatized as a child,
Okay.
um, assaulted as well as raped. So I've gone through a
Whoa.
lot of sexual healing. It's my gift. I know I help women transform it. So for
Hmm.
me, it's like I am very grateful. But during that process, you realize you have a lot of people pleasing, the deep down worth issues. And I still feel like I struggle with no one, like, how am I going to help somebody sometimes? Even though I help people, but sometimes it's like I feel
Fill in the blank.
like there's still the deep parts of me that feel like unworthy.
Okay. So, you know, first of all, first of all, self-love is the key
Yeah.
here, which, is not, I think you have your sun in the third house. I'm not exactly sure, but with the Scorpio rising, it's probably close to the third. Is it in the
Yes.
third? It's in the third.
Yep.
Okay, move over. Yeah, okay. So, oh, that's just a Taurus rising. Is that upside down? No.
It's
Looks like you're,
backwards because it's Instagram. It's switching.
oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for telling me the obvious. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, your son's is in the third, just as I thought. It looks like, yeah. You're using Placid system, so it's a little different. All right.
Okay.
So, and what degrees you're rising? Degree rising is is 10
10.
degrees. So
Yep.
actually, your son's in the second. Okay. So your self worth is actually 100% dictated by how much you love yourself. That's first and
Yeah.
foremost. And with a Scorpio rising, I'm wondering if, the issue here is that you allow your mind to interfere with that self love.
Yeah.
Is it your mind that keeps playing the voices of your parents and other people?
Yeah.
Okay. So the answer here is boundaries, Scorpio rising. Like,
Okay.
and I'm not sure, can you find your Pluto on your chart and tell me what
Yeah.
degree your Pluto's at?
Pluto is 16 degrees in Libra.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, 16 is an open heart. So you are a bleeding heart. Yes, you bleed for everyone.
I, I feel everyone. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
empathic. Yeah.
So you have to you have to create boundaries that keeps your heart open but protected at the same time. That's the mechanic you have to build inside of you.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's like, how can you go? So like maybe Thanksgiving or something with the family is tough, something like that. I'm not sure,
Well,
but I'm
well
just
it's different because it's like I grew up with my mom's very harsh on me.
okay.
Very spiritual, but at the same time, like it's every second. How could you be in your higher self? How could you have done this better? Like I grew up like I feel very criticized in everything I've done,
Yep.
and like my mom's incredible, but sometimes I like, Mom, I just need to be me for a day. Like, just I have to accept myself just as I am. Like I know I'm doing my best to be my best, but I just feel like I never got a break.
So
And
you know what a good tool, know what a good tool of boundary making is?
well,
Ju-
yes, but teach me.
okay, judgment.
Yeah.
So judgment is actually a healthy tool. We always say, "Oh, it's not right to judge people." Actually, judgment is a tool. So your mother's words are too harsh for your heart.
Mm.
We have to go ahead and judge her. She's judged. She's not allowed in the playpen. She's not allowed in the heart because her words are not pre-vetted. I still love mom,
Yes.
but her words suck.
Yes. And I do my best to tell her, like, you're being a bitch. You don't have to be. Like, just be nice. And I just stop engaging.
See, that's a poor man's boundary
That
to become invisible. Yeah. The truth is the boundary can't be held by her. It has to be held by you.
yeah.
You have to build up this thick skin where it bounces off.
Yes.
And the way it
That's
bounces off is mom doesn't get it.
okay.
Mom doesn't get it. I love her, but she doesn't get it. Judge, right? I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm saying she doesn't get it.
Okay.
So
It
she doesn't get it. So she doesn't get into my heart.
okay.
Her
And
words
I
don't get
would
into my heart. Yeah,
thank
go
you.
ahead.
Thank you. And I do clarify too, and I have been very clear with her. Like, I only want to engage in respectful, honorable conversations. If I feel like I'm ever being disrespected or not talking to me nicely, I just won't engage. And so, like, I brought her dinner the other night, and I'm just like, okay, thank you. And I just walked away because she just kept yapping. And that's the part what you verbalized perfectly is like finding the thicker skin, keeping my boundaries, and staying in a place of my heart. But my heart gets hurt.
Your heart gets hurt because you are putting her on an equal level as you when she's really not operating on the same level. So if a teenager came in and said, "You're a duty head," you're going to be heartbroken over that
No.
because you judge them as a teenager. They're
Right.
young, they're immature, they haven't sown their seeds. So if we try to get the other person to stop, we're giving them all of our power.
Right.
You're just sitting there like it's like whack-a-mole. And she's feeding off of it, frankly. There's a side of her that likes all of it. So, if you want to change the behavior, in my experience, you starve them to death. You starve them from the reaction they're hoping to get. And as soon as you stop feeding the reaction with a treat every time, here's a treat. You just hurt me. Here's a treat. You just let me down.
Yeah.
It's a weird subconscious thing. Maybe she needs, she doesn't have power. Maybe she has issues with her mom. She's taking out on you. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. You know, but ultimately, and you're about to grow. So with the Scorpio rising, Jupiter, and you are ready for intimacy. Do you have a partner in your life?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you want one?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're about ready. In fact, as soon as you seal this up with your mom, like as soon as you get these boundaries clear with the people who are close to you that you're allowing to get to you, then you're going to be ready for something really close. You have Jupiter in your seventh house right now, so you're growing in your
Yeah.
relationships, and you're like wising up to relationships. And usually it starts with the young ones, and then the ones up from there. So childhood moving all the way up from there. So really, I think for you, the loving thing for you to do for yourself is to not let her get to you. And the only way to not let her get to you is to draw a line. She doesn't get it. Until she gets it, she doesn't get access to my heart. Yes, I love her, but I'm not letting the love come in because it's with pain. There's weapons around those words. And she's just immature, incapable, not awake. I don't know what the deal is. It's her own free will, but you're not having access to my heart if you're going to be that way. And she'll feel that she's lost access. And if she feels she's lost access, that might be the only motive for her to actually change, is because she lost access. She sees she's not getting to you anymore. And she's seeing a little bit of that of you like playing fine, but she can also probably feel that you're still trying to control her instead of being in command of yourself. Right? Right? So you're real close. You're real close. Where's your Chiron in your chart?
Chiron in my chart
Mm-hmm.
is
No
one
Chiron.
degree,
What do?
1 degree Taurus.
Holy shift. So it opposes your sun. Yeah, it's opposing your sun. Okay, so 1 degree Chiron is that your past life karma is that you failed to love yourself. You failed to love yourself, it manifested and it led to self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
So this just verifies that if you don't love yourself, you will not feel valuable. You're the only one that can make you feel valuable. No one
Yeah.
else can make you feel valuable in this life.
Yes. And I have to say, I'm really grateful that I've been studying this world for 15 years. So I've studied Tantra, I've studied relationships. Like, it is my passion to understand us, to be able to create healthier worlds and healthier. Like, I see relationship is so much deeper than we've ever seen. Like, we're just starting to see. And when you had, by the way, I'm really excited to meet you in person.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thank you. Your message when you had your weekly, it was on YouTube about the coming together. First of all, I felt that for a long time and I just bawled. And I knew my soul was like I could feel it. And it's like I do. I feel that. I feel that connection of our because I remember being the blue light, putting on the bodysuit. Like I recall those memories. So
That's
it's
interesting.
so exciting to be able to feel the depth of relationships that I've always known is available.
Oh, you're
So
gonna feel it, girl. I mean, I honestly think so. I would really just like, honestly. So my final words of advice here is get these boundaries. Protect your heart so your heart can always stay open.
okay.
Okay, so boundaries are like, so for instance, when I go on camera, my heart can only stay open if I'm shooting in private. I'm in my little Zen den right now. I can't keep my heart open if I'm in front of an audience. So I deliberately put myself into a little room where I'm by myself. That's me manipulating my boundaries so my heart stays open. I know that if I bring up Republicans with my mother, she will attack me. So I won't bring that up. Okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, I won't talk about it, or whatever, because I want to keep my heart open around my mother. So I create boundaries of what I will say and what I will not say so that I don't get the wrong response that I want. Or if I bring up Anunnaki, that's another one she'll go down a sort of rabbit hole with, by the way. I love my mom. She's not watching, so we're good. so, but the point is like, you have to think like you are the mother of a child,
Yeah.
and you have to think about, okay, I'm putting this. You have a very sensitive, sweet heart. A 1 degree Scorpio is super deep love, like super powerful, deep love. You're a super sweet toddler on the inside. You just can't put her in certain environments. You just can't allow her to be in certain things, because the people who will handle you aren't qualified to handle porcelain.
Mm.
So it's time to recognize that you're porcelain. You don't let the kids play with the porcelain. You got to be a certain age and this tall to ride this ride. So I think you have to work out exactly what sort of boundaries and respect you need to be able to keep your heart open and functioning. And as soon as those are figured out, I predict you're going to manifest love. It's like waiting for you right now. And then it's going to be really scary because you're going to be so close, it's going to be almost hurting. But you'll be good. You come back on and tell me how it goes.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
appreciate you.
It's
I'm
my
so
pleasure.
excited for your first show, by the way. I'm
Yay,
so
thank you.
excited for this.
I'm
So thank
excited
you for
too.
I know, I love it.
Well, come
Thank you.
back and tell us how things go. Please do. We'll bring you back up on a Thursday and we'll go from there.
Deal.
Okay,
I'll look forward to
good.
the next day. Have
Yay.
a blessed day.
You too, dear. Ciao for now.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That was a great. Well, now I'm not sure. Okay, that's how it works. Now we look at requests here. We'll bring someone else on. Thank you so much for doing that. Um, that was wonderful. We'll go with our top person here who asked immediately and see if she comes on. And thank you. Yay. Don't have the time of my birth. So what you do if you don't have the time of your birth is you run your chart at sunrise. Hi, is this Annie? Is that right?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Annie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm your astromechanic. What's your spiritual vehicle doing?
Oh, I'm doing your 40 days of past life karma, so that's been
Oh,
helpful.
how's that going for you so far? We're only in day 3.
It's spot on every single time.
Okay. Yeah, pretty intense
Yes,
at the moment. So what we're doing in this program is we're having people like look at their childhood from the perspective of the planet.
yes.
So all of your boundary issues on the first day, all of your love issues on the second day, all of your emotional issues. Today were all your belief issues. Starting to lighten up today though, right?
Well, maybe a little bit. So interestingly, I was on live with Gary earlier, bawling,
Oh,
and literally the way that I saw it is transformed from like child into like woman. Like it was almost like the manifestation of the inner child stuff going on.
wow. I wish it was a TV station. I'd be like, let's roll that clip. Let's see her breakdown with Gary earlier today on our network. Well, that's amazing. So it sounds like, honestly, it sounds like you've had the breakthrough that I've been predicting will happen in this next 24 hours. Is that everyone's going to have this realization? Did you have a realization about your relationship to yourself?
So I've always kind of sensed this relationship. I'm trying to like quantify it because I keep seeing inner child.
Okay.
So I think I'm trying to understand like why that gets presented when it does.
hmm so do you know your stuff,
Yes.
your sun?
Yes.
Okay, give it to me, girl. Sun, moon, rising.
Okay, Sun is 14 degrees Pisces.
Oh gosh, is Cynthia watching? That's Cynthia's. That's interesting. I wonder, Cynthia, shout out to Cynthia. Is she
Yeah,
watching? 14 Pisces, okay.
26 degree Capricorn.
Is that the moon? Oh,
Yes.
you're a tough broad. Okay. And you're
Um,
rising?
Rising is 17 degrees Pisces.
Ooh, okay. So your son's in the 12th house, which is interesting. So what do you do in your time or for a living?
Okay, so I am just transitioned into like what I feel like I'm meant here to do, which is embodiment work, like embodiment coach and writing, like deep reverence for writing and being able to feel and maybe even to articulate the emotional frequencies of like coming back and forth. So,
Mm-hmm.
and but the body is the vessel, so being able to attune and feel and love the body and all of the information that is being expressed through.
Interesting. With your placement of the sun, you are, very psychic and intuitive. Have you explored those
Uh, a
potentials?
tiny bit. I'm working on that. So I think for me, if my emotions are super loud, it's hard for me to ground and hear and feel because I can
Mhm.
sense things. It's like I could sense things, but to be able to articulate it or to quantify it, to communicate it has always kind of been, it has felt like a challenge.
Mhm. What's your Pluto?
My
Can you tell me your Pluto?
Pluto is 16 degrees Libra.
Oh God, we just had the same person on. We just had a Pluto 16 degrees Libra just now. Isn't that funny how that happens? So, okay, here's the whole thing. Um, with the 27-degree moon in the 11th house, most likely your emotions are always kind of professional. You are really tough. When I said tough, broad, I didn't mean that. I mean like a moon at 27 Capricorn is someone who's been through some past life stuff and who has really rocked and rolled and sort of rolled it off your shoulders and been able to deal with it. And so there's a side of you that is really good at showing a really strong front. But a 14 degree is actually someone who is always supposed to be following where their heart wants to be, not where society wants to be. So you're super hyper aware of what society wants from you,
Yeah.
but you really need to be on the side of your own heart all the time. So I'm suspecting, and Pluto at 16 means just like the last person, you have to create boundaries that allow your heart to always stay open and always stay innocent. And if you do that, you're going to find that your psychic awareness really pours out. With the placement of your sun, I actually predict that your career goes spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I also tell you that I'm living currently on one of the moon lines? I think I don't know where, but yeah, like I haven't felt like I could move at this moment yet.
You can't move because you're doing emotional work, you think?
I
You
don't.
feel? Okay. Yeah, a moon line just means that you're hyper aware of your emotions, which means with your moon in the 11th house, you're hyper aware of your environment, you're hyper aware of everything around you. And I think, you're saying that you're kind of sensitive. Is that the issue? And you had this breakdown. What was the breakdown earlier today about?
Um, it was about feeling like, so it was actually about money. So I wasn't paying attention to something, though I sensed I needed to, didn't look at it. Then I realized I had all of this flashback from previous experiences with with my marriage. So, divorced for a couple of years, but that's what it felt like. It was like I was reliving. I was like, okay, so that was a karmic rhythm. I actually am able to take care of myself and pay bills and other things like that. But it was just one of those moments. So instead of running, I sat within it, was doing the fascial maneuvers. I was like, we'll see if I hit, don't know. And when I got on live with Gary, I was like, okay, okay. So interestingly enough, the moments that I quote unquote don't want to be seen within my emotional experience tends to be the time sometimes when I do.
Right. Because what we resist is what persists. Is that sort of, I think,
Yeah.
where we're going there with that? So is a money issue? was it a security issue about feeling secure with money, or what was the core of it? I'm trying to get to like where your breakthrough is, why it was such an outpour of emotion.
Because um, because it feels like for the first time that I have to care for myself.
Okay, there we go. All right. So this is so I think this is a similar to what we just had. It seems like your core issue is you're not on the right side of your heart. And that's Cynthia's issue too, by the way. Um, 14 means you've come to be on your heart side, which means you've come to be on your inner child side. And because you're moon in the 11th house, you tend to want to please the world and please the public. And so you've been distracted by that people pleasing. I think there's a power in it too. You want to be in power, frankly. A moon that high wants to be in power. And so the cost of being in power has been to sweep your inner child under the rug. But it's time to really get honest about what your heart really wants. And so I think what happened today, money might have been the trigger because money's tied to power, tied to that social stuff.
Yeah.
But really underneath that was your inner child crying out, afraid she wouldn't get what she wanted.
Mm.
And the only reason why she's afraid she won't get what she wanted is because mama is not paying enough attention to her.
Yeah. Okay.
So the way I do this is, for the next 30 days during Pisces, I think you should check in with your heart, put your left hand on your heart, check in with your inner child, ask your child, sweetheart, what do you want? What can I do for you right now?
Okay.
What do you wish for? If you can't get your heart's voice, the magic word is wish. What do you wish for? What do you wish could happen right now?
Okay.
So when you ask what you wish, the mind cannot wish. The ego cannot wish. All right. Emotions cannot wish. Only one part of us can wish. It's our heart.
Okay.
That's the way we're sort of built consciously. So what does my heart want? Your heart will tell you, I want a frappuccino. You say, yes, you can have a frappuccino. And what else do you want? So the answer is yes, and what else?
Okay.
What this is doing is pulling the heart out from her hiding place and then it has to be safe for her. Once she's super happy, don't put her in any situation that'll make her feel dulled down. Don't put her in a situation that'll criticize her. You have to create boundaries in a safe space, like a playpen for her heart to come out. And I have a feeling that when you start interviewing her about what she really wants, at first it'll start with very basic things like cappuccinos and, stuff within reach that is part of our modern life. I know Gary's rolling his eyes because that's poison. But the point is like her heart will, your heart will want like material, stupid, superficial things because your heart's actually testing you. She's not going to be honest with you about what you want if she can't get a frappuccino. Okay, so you have to win back the trust of your heart.
Okay.
Is what this comes down to. And I predict that you're going to find that your heart wants actually more than your current life path is. Not that what you're doing is wrong or you're on the wrong path. I'm saying there's probably some voodoo topics in there that you're dodging because you're worried about what the public would think. There's probably some wishes in there that you wish you could have that you're worried about your reputation or when, you've got some closeted stuff in there probably.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is figure out a way to do it and not get in trouble. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we can find a way together. So come back and I'll help you with it.
Okay.
But I think for your karma moment, I think you abandon your heart. When you were born with an abandoned heart, you left your heart behind, probably for power, honestly. That moon in Capricorn, that comes from a past life of having a lot of power.
Okay.
You're used to being in power. And so you put power before love is what happened in a past life. Did we get your Chiron? What's your Chiron?
2 in Taurus.
2 in Taurus. Oh my God, the last person was 1 in Taurus. We're just going to get basically a succession of people born in the. So, okay. So what that means is that your biggest wound is that you emotionally abandon yourself.
Okay.
That's your biggest wound. And I know why. For power.
Okay.
So just like the person who gives up their childhood or whatever to become a head of a corporation, you did something like that. So you actually have 2 questions. You have to ask, how do I feel? What are my feelings telling me? And what does my heart want? 2 questions. How do I feel and what does my heart want?
Okay.
And basically you're going back to toddler. So you're basically got to make the toddler in you happy, and then the adult in you will perk up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Give it a try and come back and tell us how it went.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm keeping notes here of who to pull back in. Annie, you're one of them. So I'll pull you back in. Don't worry.
All
All right.
right.
Be well. Enjoy your transition.
Thanks.
Mhm. All right. We'll bring on someone here. That was nice to talk to Annie. I'm going to go down. I'm going to let the universe um, kind of choose here. Oh, this looks good. I'm actually in my intuition shoes. So I've chosen someone named T. And that's because I could use a cup of tea right now. We'll see if she comes on. We'll see if she's paying attention. If she noticed that we requested her and invited her to come on. Hello, everyone. Oh, try to request. Hi, Sydney. I do see you. I'll try to bring you on. I did invite T, but she didn't come. Okay. So let's see. Where's Sydney here? I saw Sydney. Doo-doo-doo. Here we go. We'll bring Sydney on. See what she has to say. Yay. Good to see Gary in the chat. Y'all say, give a shout out to Gary in the chat. He is watching along here. Invited Sydney to come on. We'll see if she comes on. Yeah, I think so. Hi, Victoria Illuminations. All right, Sydney, you're not coming on for some reason. All righty. I don't know. I'm trying to accept you, Sydney. Here we go. I'm accepting one more time, and then I'm going to move on. Not your fault. Must be the cosmic light. Okay. Well, it might be a private thing. So I was warned by this by the other mechanics that sometimes it doesn't work. Sydney, there's something wrong with it. I don't know why. We're gonna go to a Caroline. Oh, unable to join, it says, Sydney, for some reason. I'm gonna try Caroline here. We are just going down the roulette table. We'll see if that happens. Ah, we do have, there she is. Hi, Caroline.
Hi there. I kind of feel like I'm double dipping. I was on Gary the other day. Um,
Oh, double dip. We can share spit.
so,
That's
hello. Thank
okay.
you.
Hi. Well, I'm not
I'm in
Gary, so
Denver
this is new.
also.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are? Oh, hello. I'm
Hello.
actually right behind you right now, behind that window. Hello.
Yeah.
This is a surprise. You're on candid camera. What's your sun, your rising, and your moon?
Um, Sun is Aries, 18 degrees Aries,
Grandmaster.
and then moon, it's 20 Leo,
Hmm. I like
and
you
then
already.
is AC, that's where it's ascendant.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
says AC, it says 19 Leo, and then it says 17. So I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, 19 minutes, 17, 19 degrees, 17 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So your moon conjuncts your ascendant, basically.
And I
So your
don't
Leo
know that
rising with the Leo moon.
much.
Okay.
I follow more Eastern astrology, so I'm just getting.
Vedic.
I do belong to Series Joy, so love it.
Hey, oh, well, hello. Then even double. Then you're single dipping then. Well, then share with me what's going on with you. What's going on with your spiritual vehicle? How can we mechanic?
Um, you know, I've and Gary shared some things with me the other day, but I just that feeling, well, one, I have a lot of lethargy and I can have depressive times and things that I just feel hold me back. And when I have the energy, I'm very focused, but that happens to me a lot. He and I had talked about some grief stuff that could be there.
Hmm.
So, I was just looking with this birthday coming up. It's my birthday's April 8th. It's the day of the eclipse and
Hmm.
you
It's
know,
gonna be a hell of a birthday.
I'll be sitting inside praying and meditating.
Well, I'd say that's the old karmic story.
Oh, okay.
Like, what's the what does your heart want?
My heart, and I'm a realtor, and I love being a realtor. I really love the part of helping people, but I do want to go on more. And he and I had talked about like teaching and healing, and those things are my chart. But like, when, and how can I start making those changes?
Hmm. So, all right. First of all, I think the lethargy is emotional. I agree with Gary. With your moon conjoining your ascendant is like, first of all, the ascendant is Aries. The ascendant is our ego. Aries is our ego. It's what makes us go. So the part of you that makes you go is your ego, your energy go. What makes your energy go? That's really what ego is. It's the drive. But your moon conjoins your ego which means that your ego is constantly burdened by wherever your emotional state of awareness is at the moment.
Okay.
And your sun is actually in the 8th house, I think, because of the degrees, if you use the equal system, which means that you actually are very good at hiding and repressing things.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I agree with Gary. You probably have repressed some heavy emotions that right now the karma is saying has to come up. The universe is giving an ultimatum, it has to come up right now.
Okay.
Particularly probably around relationships. Are you in one right now?
No.
Are you grieving one?
No.
Okay, so it's a
Well, I
relationship
didn't think
to
so,
yourself.
but maybe I might be. I had he did some grief work with me the other day, and that was for
Okay.
a spouse who passed away, over 25 years ago.
Ooh, yeah. Well, you know what always surprised. Okay, so you're a huge survivor. Let's go back a little bit. You're a Grandmaster Aries. What that means is that you are a warrior spirit. You come from past lives of probably being literally a soldier. Okay.
Okay.
A soldier that can walk on a broken foot, a soldier that can walk through the pain in the rain, and still be ready and alert to fire. You come from this past life disposition of walk it off. So you automatically suppress trauma, pain, suffering. It's an automated response that you do.
Okay.
And so you probably have deeper layers of grief than you have let yourself be aware of.
Okay.
What's your Pluto? Do you know your Pluto for me? Pluto degree and sun, degree and sign?
Pluto, 20 degrees Virgo.
Okay. So that's it right there. We just hit the raw nerve. So 20 degrees Virgo means that you do not have good emotional boundaries.
Yes.
um, and that means and that comes from being a soldier. There's no time for emotion, soldier. Shut up, stand tall, let's do it. Walk in there. You come from a past life history of where emotions are for girls. I'm just quoting. I don't believe that. But the truth of the matter is so your emotions are not you're not gonna get to this grief until you create a safe space for yourself.
Okay.
So, you have to create, well, what would make you safe? Like maybe you are really hurting over something. How can I feel safe, first of all, to talk about it? Am I willing to talk about it to Gary? Am I willing to put it in a journal? Am I willing to bring it up with a therapist? Like what makes you feel the safest? So until you have defined safe, your emotions will hide from you.
Yeah.
They will hide because they don't feel safe. Your little girl's hiding behind the couch. She's like peeking out from behind the couch because it's not safe to come out. What's your Chiron degree and sign?
Chiron is 0 degrees Aries.
Whew! Okay. All right. All right. So your wound is you improper boundaries with yourself led to your death. So because of where it falls, because it falls right in. Ultimately, you ended up in a past life. So Chiron has to do with past lives, but also has to do with children. So you have inappropriate boundaries. You don't understand what the boundary structures are with yourself, when to go or when to not go, what to act on, what to not to act on. That probably plays out in relationships in particular. Did you find you had a lot of boundary issues with partners?
Yeah, and I would say like maybe little things really bothered me, and big things I let go.
Yeah, that is a broken down boundary structure. So you have fortified yourself to handle going to battle, but you have no appropriate boundaries with yourself to handle a paper cut. Right? This all really stems from the idea that you just need a lot of safe space. So what I recommend is the same sort of technique I gave the last person. Every day, I think you need to check in with, how do you feel? How do I feel? Okay. How do I feel? And what would make me feel safe right now? What would make me feel better? So how do I feel? How do I want to feel? Those are the two questions. Right. And how do I protect myself in that process? So I feel tired. How do I want to feel? I want to feel lively. Okay. So how do I protect myself? What can I do to protect myself and safeguard that intention? Safeguarding that intention may be, I need a nap. All right. I don't know if your mind says we can't nap. We have lots to do. You're an 18 degree Aries. Do you always have lots to do?
Yeah, but I still take a nap sometimes.
Good. Well, I mean, you kind of think of this like a toddler. The toddler in you is not supported. That's
Okay.
the issue. Like, so the toddler in you is not supported. The adult you is great. You can handle war. You can close on a mansion. You can list, anything on the market. But nap time, she's a bear.
Yeah. Okay, that'll make
So
sense.
you're tripping over the tiny things. So I'd say hyper baby yourself.
Okay.
So if you're tired or whatever, okay. If you're tired, then I'm gonna protect myself. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna move this off my plate till tomorrow.
Hmm.
I'm going to give myself, some vitamins that make me feel boosted up, whatever Gary recommends. But you're gonna find that just the care alone makes you feel better.
Hmm. Okay.
You're you're feeling bad because you are so rough and tough, can handle anything, that you aren't really caring for yourself on a very fundamental level, and it's wearing you out.
Yeah.
It's wearing you out. And also I think your feelings don't feel safe to come up. You'll find after like 3 nap days you might cry like a baby.
Mm. Yeah.
Also, structure is really important too for emotional development. So
And I'm
structure
just
is,
starting to do more structure. I mean, I've always been a free spirit, like, hey, don't tie me down. And now I'm starting to have more structured mornings and everything.
yeah, you need structure. Like a baby, the reason why you put the baby down every night at 10 o'clock is because it creates emotional. It's something you emotionally look forward
Mm-hmm.
to. Your emotions feel safe within the parameters of what can be expected.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, emotional boundaries, step 20, Pluto. One emotional boundary is I got to go to bed at 10 because otherwise I'm a bear. So you live up to these kind of things that you can always count on in your routine, and then be free within those parameters. So give yourself the freedom within certain boundaries,
Okay.
and your feelings are going to start to perk up. First thing that's going to happen is all this emotion is going to come up that
Yeah.
you've repressed. So you will have a bit of a waterfall moment,
Yeah.
especially now in Pisces, you're going to have one, but that's okay. Just make sure you have again, protect yourself. Have your Kleenex, have your favorite juice. Think about a toddler, your favorite baba, your favorite toy, like your favorite thing on TV. Like, get all the baby's toys around her. That's the safety, that's the protection, that's the boundaries. And allow yourself to be vulnerable. And
Oh,
I think it'll come up and you'll feel stronger.
okay. Yeah. Because I know I've shut those feelings down a lot. So hey.
You, you have to make it safe to let them come back up again. But once you do, you're going to be actually so much stronger and more effective, even at your job. Because when you become tender like that your clients are going to connect to you on a
Mhm.
deeper level.
That's
So
how
your
I connect with
customer,
them now, is the tender part of me. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
So
even now, you're going to be more compassionate because you're going to have felt it yourself and know what they're going
yeah.
through.
That's probably the hardest part for me, is I kind of take the empathic part, I take a lot on, which can be really hard in my job. Like, I want to be there, but I don't want to feel it all, and I feel it all. So, all right.
Part
Thank
of
you.
that is that's because your personal boundaries with yourself are void.
Okay.
So once you have routines and you're emotionally fit, it won't affect you of your clients. You'll feel them, but it won't get to you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you for your time. I tried to set up a appointment with you, but you're way booked out there. So
I am
maybe
at the
I'll see you
moment.
at a coffee shop in Denver someday. And
Let's make that happen. If you see me, come say hi.
okay, sounds good. I'm by Wash Park area.
I'm up in
So
Arvada right now.
okay,
So
sounds good.
yeah,
Thank you
we'll
so
find a
much.
way. Thank
And
you,
today
dear.
I have an appointment with the numerology guy that you had. So I set up one.
Oh, Josh.
Yep.
Oh, he's amazing. You're gonna love him. He's also super sweet, super
Okay.
super sweet and kind guy. Yeah, you're gonna love him.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
tell Josh I said
I
hi.
will.
Okay. Tell him I
Thank.
emailed him. I'm waiting for him to email me back.
Okay. And I love your laugh. It is
Let's
so,
poke
you
him.
and Gary laughing is like the best medicine. So thank you.
Oh, we have fun.
All right. Bye
Okay. Take care,
bye.
sweetie. Have a good reading
Thank
later.
you.
All right. Josh Siegel is his name. He's a numerologist, Josh Siegel. And we'll bring up one more here. I'm not sure if you know how to get out. I think you just hit the X in the upper corner. I think it's how you get out. There you go. She figured it out. We'll do one more. His name is Josh Siegel. He's a numerologist. Brilliant, so intelligent. He's downloaded his own system We're going to go with Papa Paula. We'll see if Papa Paula can come on. He downloaded his own numerology system just like me. He was on my YouTube channel is Serious Joy TV. You'll see I have my guests lined out there in Namaste today. Hey, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Nice to meet you. I love your
Nice.
hair. What's your rising?
My rising sign is 14 degrees Cancer.
Oh, okay, awesome. And what's your sun and your moon?
My sun is 20 degrees Scorpio,
Ooh, passionate. And
and
your moon?
my moon is 12-degree Gemini.
Oh, curious, passionate.
hmm
And what's going on in your life? How can I be of service?
Well, today we're learning about our belief structure, and I'm just like I've just had this breakdown of believing in myself and feeling sometimes I feel confused about like the next steps to take.
Okay. So you have a Gemini moon, and Gemini moons tend to think the answer's in their mind. It's not. It's in your feelings. So when you say you have a hard time believing in yourself, is that because your mind starts to argue?
I guess so, yeah. And sometimes I feel like it comes from a lot of past life stuff. Like I'm doing the 40 days or the past life karma. And
Mm-hmm.
today, I mean even today's energy just has been really, really strong in Louisville. Like there's a service outage, cellular service outage that occurred.
That's what I
And
heard.
and even like our 911 system went down here in the city too. And what's crazy, so I just came back from Cancun, and I just felt like my thoughts were like at ease and at peace. And then coming back to Louisville, everything is like shifting, and it doesn't feel like I felt like coming from Cancun. Like it feels like there's something kind of off with me being here.
Maybe.
And so
Maybe you got a signal. Maybe that was what the spirit's choice was. I mean, that maybe that's the point is that you don't really resonate. You're in Louisville, Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
Yeah, you know the original expression that was Cain, as in Cain and Abel, Kentucky. In fact,
Oh wow.
Kentucky was thought to be cursed by the American Indians, and so they never lived there. They just hunted there. It's got some energy that needs to be cleared in Kentucky.
I can feel it, and a part of me isn't sure if I'm here to be a part of that clearing or if this is past life stuff. Like I moved to Kentucky when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And and so, and I mean even like going through the past life karma today, it like in answering the questions, a lot of I grew up with a dad who was super into Christianity and still is. He's a devout Christian. And so I'm like in reflecting about like past life stuff, like I don't know if I'm here in Louisville clearing up past life karma or if I'm here to be a part of the change, or I don't like sometimes I'm just like, where do I belong?
Yeah, it's quite possible. Um, what's your Chiron?
My Chiron is 23 degrees
Oh,
Leo.
okay. So I think you have to feel it out. What's your Pluto? One more question. What's your Pluto?
22 Scorpio.
Okay. So yeah, you know, you ultimately need a place that makes you feel grounded and comfortable. Maybe Cancun was revealing that to you, um, that you felt really grounded and comfortable. Like your a 20 degree has to really be at home wherever that home is. So I would definitely be listening to what your feelings are telling you, but you have to create a safe space for your feelings. So a 22-degree Pluto means that you basically you don't know how to handle when emotions bounce off of emotions. That's what two is. 22 is emotion and emotion. So when emotions bounce off of emotion, that's sort of like when people get all crazy, riled up about politics, or people get riled up about anything, you yourself get overwhelmed. You short circuit. And that's because the first two is not protected. A 20-degree Scorpio is here to protect her feelings. So protect your feelings means you have to be very aware of where you thrive emotionally and where you feel tainted or you feel pulled down emotionally. If you felt amazing in Cancun and then you went back to your cocoon in Kentucky, that you might have had that whole experience just so you're so understood, hey, I need to be very careful and mindful about where I plant myself because I'm emotionally sensitive. I'm an empath. And you are an empath at 20 degrees Scorpio, very much empath. You probably did go, if you moved to 16, it was definitely a past life thing, 100%. Probably had a past life there. Actually, psychically, I can feel you definitely had a past life there. Yeah. Do you feel called, it feels native. Do you feel called to American Indians?
I have since I was very young. Mm-hmm.
It feels like you're an Indian there. So
Mm-hmm.
it feels like that was a land that you roamed. So I think create some safe emotional space for yourself, and I would do some safe exploring. You know, when you do this 40 days of past lives and karma on Serious Joy, make sure that you create a very safe environment and you deliberately create it, like light a candle, incense, you know, things turned off, like create the safe womb. It's mostly that you create the womb that makes it feel safe. It's not that a candle works or whatever. It's whatever you decide is safe. And then in that safety, you really start asking your feelings some questions like, you know, ask your feelings. Do I feel like I need to move? Do we feel we need to move? Do we feel we need to stay? And just maybe do that test every day for about 30 days. But I get a sense that it's been revealed to you that your work is done there. That's what it feels like. Just a psychic hit. Yeah. But because you have a moon in Gemini, you really don't let yourself feel very long. Like as soon as you feel, boop, you start thinking about it, you start processing, you start texting, you start talking to people, you know, so you actually have to sit in the feelings a little bit longer, kind of taste it a couple more seconds. Okay, like to get a little more information out because you're feeling and you're it's like dipping into a hot tub. You're like, ooh, too hot, and you emotionally you jump out of it. So, and that's just probably to avoid. That's probably there aren't good emotional boundaries to make sure you feel safe to begin with. So,
Yeah, sometimes it feels like I feel so much that it's like learning to navigate what's mine and what's not mine. And I am really sensitive to other people's energies, and I live with strong energies in my house. And so it's like it's like how do I navigate that in my own life and with other people, right? Like,
right. So you have to create an emotional safe womb for yourself
mhm,
that feels completely safe, and you need to have time with your feelings to know how you feel. And if
mhm,
you have a womb with yourself where you know how you feel, okay, and then going into the hot water with that knowledge, you're going into these experiences not aware of how you feel and where the line is for you. And so because you go into these experiences not clear on you, you lose you in them.
right. So what
Because,
I'm hearing you say is coming back to, and how do I feel, and how do I feel, and how do I feel?
right. And when you even if you're in public and you find yourself overwhelmed in that 22, how do I feel? Like take a take a break, go off to the side. How am I feeling? What's going on for me? Okay, this is me. Okay, well then that's them. I'm not feeling angry. That's theirs. So you lack the consciousness that separates your feelings from your environment. And I think what you did in Cancun was you literally put yourself in a whole new environment so that you could see the difference between the two temperatures. And now that you see the difference, it's time to pay attention to that. It may be good for you to go where you feel comfortable.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'd love to chat a bit longer. Why don't you come back and tell me at the end of the 40 days how it works for you?
Okay,
Come
thank you.
back on this live. I want to wrap up because I don't know if there's anyone else scheduled. Thank you. Have a lovely week.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how this is my first mechanics job here at Human Garage, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I will say that if you're interested in Serious Joy, I do daily coaching. You basically go to the Human Garage app, you hit under partners, and then you hit under products under partners, and you'll see us there in that. So do it through Human Garage. I'd be happy to be here. I will be here next week. This is going to be our new Astro Mechanics segment, and I'll bring more people on. This is going to be a show about bringing people on and talking through our problems and working together. Just stay on the side of your heart, friends, and love yourself right now because you are the source and the answer you're looking for. I'll see you back next week. I love you. Live, love, be.